Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all the honors, the praises, the glory belongs to my Lord and Savior. His name is Yahweh by Sham Yahweh Shai. Bahasham Wahavaka Kodash. Name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. His son's name is Yahweh Shai, in who I reverence, and honors to the apostles that are in the Holy Spirit, and to the few brothers and sisters that are listening and also learning in the hopes of being saved within these last days, because we are living in the last days of the last days. And this lesson is going to be based on, well, Yahweh Shai did warn us, right? The Messiah, he did warn us. You come to serve the Lord. He said, if they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. This is a part of the truth. We can't take things personal, but I want to speak about basically teach the words. Yeah, certain things are going to happen. Yeah, there is what you call a psyops being ran, right, on the masses, as well as the so-called targeted individual and so forth. The Messiah, yes, he was followed everywhere. Before he was even born, right? Actually, when he was born, what happened? Herod and the chief priests, Herod sought for what the Messiah to take him out. So certain things happen within this truth. And I don't really want to delve into the gang stalking, because I did do a lesson says I'm not going to entertain that nonsense, because that's what it is nonsense. But I want to go into why you're going through what you're going through. And it is all spiritual persecution at the end of the day. And you have some people, they believe in what the government says and all that rubbish. So they're more liable to do some stupid stuff. So we're going to go into this, Baba Kasha. I hope this is going to be edifying. And just know this, Baba Kasha, yeah, you protect yourself, you pray, and you try to live a righteous life to the best of your ability. Okay. We're going to start off on 2 Timothy 3. I'm going to jump straight to, I think we should start at 11, right? Persecutions, afflictions, which came to me unto Antioch. And this is Paul speaking, right? Iconium, Lystra, these are different regions. What persecutions I endured. So even Paul said he went through certain persecutions. But the thing is, guess what? He endured it. He got through it because it was for a bigger purpose. Okay? And when you go into this word persecute, it means to treat someone unfairly or cruelly over a long period of time because of their, this is race, religion, or political beliefs, or to annoy someone by refusing to leave them alone. So that's a form of persecution. It's a form of harassment, right? And it says, I endured, but out of them all, the Lord Yahweh Shai delivered me. So even though he went through all these things, it says, out of them all, he was delivered from it. So the Lord has a way of, yeah, putting us through things, but at the end, vindication, all right? But evil men are moving too fast, Bible Kisha. Yeah, all that will live godly, are you trying to live godly? In Yahweh Shai shall suffer persecution. It tells you that. It tells us that if you're trying to live upright, godly just means upright, you're going to suffer some form of persecution. So this just, it comes hand in hand with what we're doing. You find out you're a Hebrew, right? You find out you're a Hebrew. You get into the scriptures. You're finding out new things. You're finding out your nationality and so forth. But the people that rule, they don't really like that because they've paid millions to keep this truth closed. You're finding about the evil in society. Some people, they're not comfortable with that. Okay. So check this out. But evil men and seducers, there's a lot of evil men around and seducers. That word seducer means to entice, to allure. Shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. So those that want to seduce us and evil men, they were going to be deceived and they were going to be waxing worse and worse and worse. Okay. they were going to be looking mad, basically, right? That's why we can't get caught up on our emotions, our feelings, and sometimes we can't control things that may be out of our power. Okay, even though we do have what's the word? We have a form of spiritual power. We can speak good things, and we can, yeah, but the Lord's in control. He knows why he's doing what he's doing. So we're gonna see these people wax worse and worse, right? But continue though in the things which thou hast learned and has been assured of knowing whom thou hast learned them. So just continue in teaching the word, and the Lord will vindicate you in due time. So now we're going on the topic of, you had the apostles, you had Yahushua, and when they were teaching, this is what they went through. You had the Pharisees. The Pharisees, they were the chief priests, and they had a lot of sway on the public, the minds of the public, and they had certain officers in their pocket. And this is kind of like a double lesson. So the whole thing is, my whole thing, yeah, you have officers, you have police officers, and I want to tell you about this program. Whether it's satellites, whether it's transmitters, that's the police that are doing it. I hear people complaining about what do they call it? Electronic harassment, or they being hit with EMF. That's coming from your local police, right? It's coming up. It's coming from them. Facts. It's not no if, buts, or maybe. Facts. Right? But you can't let that get you off track. You still got to teach. And the reason why that's being done, the reason why they're doing that, is so you can react, or so you can act a certain way to the public, and now they can discredit you. And it is a psyops. And I've spoken to a few people, and this one individual lately, this was last week, and he said he's going through the same thing. He said he knows, but he doesn't overthink about it. He keeps his phone, he records what he needs to record, but he knows they're watching him. So yeah, you are being watched. You are being surveilled covertly. Now, what's the difference between surveillance and what's the other one? There's surveillance and there is a law enforcement, right? Surveillance is when you're being surveilled. Mm-hmm. That's surveillance, when you're being watched covertly. Now, when it comes to what do you call it? These type of agencies, and what do you call it? You have surveillance and you have the other one, like law enforcement. Now, law enforcement, what's the difference? Law enforcement, they go off information they have been told. That's the difference between law enforcement, surveillance. Surveillance is when you're being surveilled, when you're being watched, when you're being monitored. Law enforcement, right? They go off what they've been given, right? Because someone has given them information concerning you. Now, the thing is, how long have you been doing this for? Probably sometime 2, 5, 6 years, maybe 7. That's probably enough time. Well, it's more than enough time, right? To say, yeah, this guy, he has good intentions. You can see he doesn't have any type of evil intention. If you're being that long, okay? So that's why I say there's nothing to worry about, because you're not conducting yourself in an evil, wicked manner. You're not going out. You're not gang stalking people, are you? You're not breaking into houses. You're not planting things in people's homes. You're not surveilling anyone. I don't surveil anyone in their homes. Now, this surveillance thing, we're going to go into it, but I want to stick to the scriptures. It's police. It's the police that are doing this. So you have, could be 1, could be 2, you have a police officer that obviously didn't like you, right? Probably tried to pin something on you. And you probably, the Lord justified you in whatever cause it is. And that police officer got a bit angry. These things happen, right? You see it all over the UK. You've heard many different stories about it. and so forth. So he probably thought, you know what, well, let's put him on the program and let's run a psyops upon him. A psyops only works if you believe in that rubbish. Now the thing is, what you got to understand, these officers, because I've seen it with my own eyes from early on, they can hire people. Example, if someone's in prison, they want less time. They just say, you want to get out earlier? You wouldn't mind, you want to get out earlier. Would you just watch this guy? And you can get out earlier. We give you less time. Just watch this guy. And you got people that do plea deals. So this is why you have a lot of criminals. You may see gangs involved. Well, because the police are controlling them. Right? So this is why you may see cars pulling up and so forth. It's just so many different things. But I want to stay on the topic. Your so-called stalking is being ran by police. Why is it ran? So you could act a certain way. Because if they can get you to act a certain way, they can discredit you, chuck you in a bloody psychiatry ward, because the things you're speaking about, do they have the powers to do that? They have the powers to do that if you're acting mad. Yes, they do have the powers to do that. 100%. That's why you have to teach the truth. You go from A to B to C. You do what you have to do and you mind your own business. And that's it. All right? Because guess what? It's been very interesting. I've had police talk to me, plainclothes officers, and there's never been a problem. That's how you know you're not doing anything wrong. It's to stop feeding into rubbish. Right? They know that. I had officers come up to me and say, you know what? Why you we just want to let you know it's going to be quite busy today. We got carnival and it wasn't carnival, it was a protest and all that, so we're just letting you know and so forth. I've had plain officers telling me that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to maneuver in the right way. It's not every officer that's corrupt, by the way. I want to let you know that. You always have one, it's probably one or two or more, or four. But that's where you can't, don't take the bait. You go about your day. You be what you call a so-called upstanding, I don't like using that word, but they say a good Samaritan, a good citizen. And you ain't got nothing to worry about. It's police officers that go through the community. How do you know? Because say if you're in a community, you're getting along with certain people, then over a certain time, their behavior starts to change towards you. That's because you had either law enforcement or mostly police officers that knock on doors. Oh yeah, they will knock on people's door and they will lie about you. And I know this because my own mother told me and my father. So they will also go to your family and lie. Yeah, your son. Yeah, we believe he's under investigation. Rubbish. Because police have came to me several times, and if that was the case, you would have been arrested. It's rubbish. So they need to create lies, bro. They're desperate, man. And this ain't all officers, it's just certain ones. So they went to my mother and lied, basically. And they went to my father when I was outside. So they tend to do these things when you're not around your family. Yeah, they knocked on the door. Fucking lied, man. But that's okay because whatever a man soweth, that he shall also reap. But my fight ain't with no police, or I'm not getting into all of that. I'm just letting you know, this program, whatever you want to call it, the police are involved. If you're dealing with what these people call electronic harassment, which really is police using antennas and sirens and antennas and frequencies, that's who's doing that. You think it's your next door neighbors. Now, your next door neighbors can be given a technology, but it's mostly coming from people in government, i.e. officers, whether it's your county officers or whether it's your local police officers in your area. That's a fact. And don't tell me it ain't. And I'm going to post some old footage, old footage about 4 years ago where the police were trying to mess with me, right? So I've even got footage of this stuff. But my fight is not with them. They're just under orders by whoever. And this is spiritual. So I'm not making them the issue or the topic. This is all biblical, what we're going through. It's another form of persecution. So yeah, they can go through the area. You never know. They can post some flyers. They can knock on people's doors and say, please, would you watch him? We believe this guy, he's a threat, he's a problem. Well, that's nonsense, because if the people were watching me, which they are, well, over time, they're able to see, no, he ain't that. So it's rubbish. They're running a psyops. And this ain't just happening to me, it's happening to all the brothers that are teaching. Because you could be messing up someone's interests or agenda, and there's certain people that don't like that. Okay? So don't get all discombobulated. When you hear the sirens, when you hear the psyops and the ice cream van and all that, don't get all bent out of shape about it. You live your life, man. And don't be paranoid as well. Don't be acting paranoid, and because they thrive off them type of things. And be careful of the isolation, because they've done this to many people. Have you ever heard of the Manchurian candidates? Manchurian candidates are people that are chosen for psyops. You ever heard of the 60s when they were testing the LSD and trying to discredit people and so forth? So they can't say you're on drugs because you don't take drugs. They can't say you're an alcoholic. I've heard people say, oh, he's an alcoholic, he's drinking wine. Nah. Right? They can't say none of the things because you're not none of those things. They can't say you're a criminal because you don't have any criminal record unless they forge something, because remember, they can forge details. They can do that as well. The only thing that I have on my record is I've even got the letters here. Was caught with cannabis when I was about 16 years old with a little bit of cannabis, and that's it. Right? I don't have anything on my record unless they forge something. They've added something, because they can do that. Corrupt officers can do that. But now my record's clean. Okay. And it's clean because Yahweh has made it clean. It's about what God thinks. Because you can't trust in the judicial system in this world because it's corrupt. All you need is enough money and you can pretty much pay off the right people and so forth. So let's get back to the scriptures. Right? Do not take this thing personally, and with the whole program or whatever, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you're, keeping your head down and just staying out of trouble, I believe it will all... Listen, it's not forever. It's not forever. Mm. And you got a lot of people that are jealous of you. Listen, you've been thriving. You got people that are watching you that are bloody envious. So there's obviously something good going for you, right? It's not all bad. It's not all bad. Okay. You got people that want you to be a part of their groups. Some. You see, it's a mixed. You can't get too caught up on all that stuff. Right? They're trying to get into your heads. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to John. We're also going to go to John. So this is John Babakasha. Before we go to John, let's go to Luke. Salakia. If you were this bad, evil person, let me tell you, if someone's that dangerous, if someone is that dangerous, you wouldn't be on the streets. You would have been in prison already. It's nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense. Right? And quickly, don't isolate yourself too much, because you see about, what's that? I forgot the guy's name now. That guy with the afro, that young kid with the afro, and the other guy that had the knife that was running around. A lot of that is done through police. Yeah, they can make criminals overnight through satellite, psyops, or harassment. So be careful you don't fall into that category. Be very careful, because they've done this to several individuals. And what do you always hear? What's the story? What's the story? Oh yeah, we had this guy. We always knew he was a problem. We were watching him. Now you wasn't watching him. You were probably harassing him. Okay, with technology and using neighbors and the people that are in the street. The people in the street that are doing that, they're nothing but cyborgs. And a lot of these people around you, they're what you call government they're informants. So the people that are getting their little payouts, they're what you call informants. They're bottom feeders. Why do you think they're hiring people to do witchcraft upon you to attack your mind? Because if they can attack your mind and you're not thinking properly and you're acting irrational, they get paid off that. So this is why the witches get involved as well. You go about your day, you live life according to the scriptures, and you ain't got nothing to worry about. Nothing. Oh, they're still gonna do what they're gonna do, but you're not reacting. It's when you react, that's when you get caught up. That's when you get caught up. Okay. So a lot of these people, yeah, they're what you call informants. A police or whoever knocks on the door, yeah, would you watch him and would you inform on us? Would you report back to us what he's doing? And they report back, they take their orders, they're nothing. Come on. If they want to watch you, so what? Just let them watch you until Yahushua comes through. I've been through this for I think under 5 years now. And I know all the ins and outs, all the ins and outs of this. So I know how to deal with it and not to get all discombobulated. Let's go to the scriptures. Let's go to Luke 20:21. Right? How do you know, bro? How do you know right now? Say you're living in a flat house or shared accommodation. How do you know the person right next to you, upstairs from you ain't working for law enforcement? How do you know the person ain't a bloody asset? How do you know it ain't an MI5 officer? You don't you know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta be wise on what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're acting. You might have a bloody you might have had a MI5 officer living right next door to you. Right next door, you may have had a tenant that was basically told, yeah, just go in there, let's just see. Let's see what he's about. Let's see what he's really up to. Scripture says, be not ignorant of nothing small nor great. I've told you about the technology they have. Yeah, they have them antennas, right? The receivers and so forth. So anytime you're on any gadget, they're picking it up. That's going straight to the police. So yeah, you have informants and agents and so you have that. And they come in and out, see what you're doing. But really, they don't have anything to say, because if they were ready to go deep, then a lot of people would get exposed. Because look at the scandals, what's going on within the police force now. Right? I just typed in police corruption, and there's all types of things going on. Bear me just a minute. Let me just type it in, and look what pops up every single day. And this is from MSN.com. Met Police Anti-Corruption Officer search database for secrets on his Facebook. Next one, ITV.com. Former defed Poles police officer nicknamed the Octopus sacked for gross misconduct. From Cornwall. From Cornwall Live. Ex-police officer sentenced for leaking confidential information. Next one, Mirror.co.uk. Hillsborough families livid as police watchdog finds top cops did smear fans. Excuse me. So there's every single bloody day, you got things coming out in the news about them. So that's not my fight. I'm not concerned about that. Listen, you got officers left, right, and center getting charged for misconduct. So they ain't really got nothing to say. You know, I'm not getting caught up in all that rubbish. Right? They want me to fight a fight that doesn't even belong to me anyway. It's nonsense. It's about baiting. Let's see if we can bait him to do something, or because he's a good-hearted person, let's see if we can turn him into a criminal. This is what they do to certain people, right? Turn them into criminals. Or victimization. Victimization comes from, law enforcement sometimes, and, all them. So let's go to Luke 21:12. But before all these they shall lay their hands on you. So Yahushua was warning of the persecution to come and persecute you, delivering you up to synagogues, which is buildings, and into prisons. Some of you are going to be doing time, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake, right? So it says that's going to happen. You're going to be persecuted. Some of you are going to be locked up and brought before kings, rulers, the magistrates. And it shall turn to you for a testimony, a witness. Settle it therefore in your hearts, your minds, not to meditate before what you shall answer. You're not going to need to. Mhm. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. So the Lord's going to put the right words in your mouth to say what you need to say at that time. Because there is all this time while you've been teaching, all these years, depending on how much years you've been in, there's been cases that have been built up, right? There's files, false documents. What do you think when people are walking past you, they're taking pictures? What do you think that's about? You think they're just taking pictures to stick it up on their wall? No, them pictures are being taken because they're informants. That's why they take you. Have you ever seen it? You could be somewhere, right? And they're trying to kind of catch you off. You could be scratching your head, or you could just be doing something odd because they caught you in an odd moment. They take a picture. Where do you think that picture goes? It's either going on an app or it's going on some type of, they're sending that around because these people are informants. Sometimes you even see cult members doing that, right? Secretly, they have their phone right next to their side and they're secretly trying to video phone you or have you doing something that you're not really doing, right? So you got to be aware of these things and don't put yourself in environments and situations where you could be compromised or you can get yourself. Don't do that. Be sensible because we have this wisdom. Okay. And you shall be portrayed both by parents. So some of us have this has already happened with some of us. Why? Because guess what? They've ran. Some of these people have ran to your family quick behind closed doors. Right? Yeah, where is he? Yeah, we're looking for your son. No. Tell us where he is. Bro, these things have happened already to some of us, man. They all try to turn your family against you, man. And it says you shall be portrayed both by parents and brethren and king's folk. So you got to be very careful these days. And friends, you never know. If they're not operating in the spirit, they could do anything. They could sell you out. Right? You never know. They could sell you out to some sex cult or whatever. Bro, these things are, it's crazy out here. Right? They could sell you out to the police. And you shall be portrayed both by parents and brethren and king's folks, relatives. You may have a cousin. Yeah, I thought something was strange. Like, he's out there and he's shouting his head off, and you have to be careful. And friends, right? And some of you shall they cause to be put to death. That's through lies. You have to be careful, man. And you shall be hated of all men for my name. So it says all men. So that's high level persecution. Some of you ain't even been through that. Me, I've been, listen, I'm what you call, now I don't want to say it. I'm not a targeted individual. I'll say empowered individual, but yeah, there's a lot of people that basically when I step out, they're all ready for me. Basically, everything's being scripted. When I go to the stores, they run a script. Wherever I go to the park, they run in a script. Wherever I go, they run a script. Right? So all that's being orchestrated. So that's a form of persecution. Even where I'm living right now, what these people do is scripted. They also tell the next door neighbor. Remember, they also do signs and signals and coding. Basically, to let them know, what the neighbors do to let them know that I'm here. They let the dogs out and the dogs will start barking. So that's another way they signal to each other. Sometimes they signal by coughing. So they do that stupid coughing stuff. So it's all around you, but it's how do you deal with these things? And even when you go out, when you come back in, remember the people, you have cars that speed. So when you're outside, you got cars that are speeding because they're orchestrating stuff. These are Freemasons. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that. You also have, yes, Freemasons that are also watching you as well. This is how deep the rabbit hole goes. Freemasons, people that are part of fraternities, yeah, watching you. So this is very, 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 very deep. That's why a lot of these people are not getting arrested, because if you're a Mason and an officer's a Freemason, then you have perks. You can get away with, well, you don't really get away with nothing, to be honest. You don't really get away with nothing. But you understand what I'm saying. They think they can get away with doing certain things because they're a Mason. That's all rubbish, bro. Look how many people, celebrities, are being caught for doing things that were off, right? And they're locked up. So that's nonsense. So where was I? We was on Luke 21. So you're gonna be hated, man, and you have to embrace that and know how to deal with it. But there shall not a hair of your head perish. In your patience possessing your souls. Key thing. Patience possessing our souls and our minds. Possess it. Don't be acting erratic, screaming your head off, and that's what they want. That's what they want. Because it's all this thing is all about narrative now. It's got to that point. Narrative. How can we change the narrative? Right? How can we make someone that's, I don't want to say good, but trying to live uprightly, how can we make them look like a villain to the public's eyes? That's what they're trying to do. How can we alter his behavior? This is where you get the electronics. The whole thing with the electronics and the harassment is when you're sleeping, mostly, right? I think they hit me with it a couple days ago. They tried to hit me in my liver and my back with it, right? And so forth. So it's all about making you snap, right? Making you act a certain way. That's what it's all about. The CIA, they do these type of things as well, right? They go into other countries demanding a response or a reaction. I say reaction. So that's what it's all about. So now you know these things. Now you know how to conduct yourself. Sometimes silence is the best thing when you're silent. Not everything you see, not everything you know, you need to speak about. Not everything. Because that's what can make you a target also. Because you're speaking certain things and it's that, well, they're like, shut up. I've had that when the Mason are speaking and the Mason like, shut up. What does that show? You're speaking truth. They don't want you speaking about certain things. They definitely don't want you to speak about the whole trafficking thing. Because guess what? If I'm under investigation, right? That means you would have to investigate these people that are watching me that are also part of a trafficking ring, right? You would have to watch them. And you would also have to watch these people that are using technology and trying to weaponize it against brothers to try to bring some level of what do you call it? Psychosis. Let's type in this word psychosis. Psychosis. See what this word means. Psychosis. Psychosis is a condition where a person loses contact with reality. Oh my gosh. And this is why you have, when you're out there, you will notice all them cars, right? You've seen my videos where all them cars go rushing past, speeding. They're trying to mess with your reality, which may involve experience hallucinations, seeing or hearing things that aren't there, and delusions, strong beliefs that are not true. It can be caused by various mental health disorders. So what they're trying to do is bring forth some mental health disorder. Physical illnesses or substance use is often treatable with medication and therapy. Right? So there's a lot of people involved in this, and that's why you have to, you protect yourself at all costs. And one thing I do know, I don't have no psychosis. That's one thing I do know. These people do though. From the behaviors of these people, listen, don't worry about all this stuff, man. So it's part of the person. We have to go through it, right? And there is a reward at the end of it. You're going to be rewarded now. And not everybody's against you, by the way. There's a lot of people that are also vouching for you as well. They want you. See, the part of this is to have you isolate yourself from the public. Because if you can isolate yourself from the public, you can be victimized. You could be labeled a certain way. Don't isolate yourself too much. Isolation is good, but don't do it too much. Right? And that's when you become a prey to traffickers. So you got to be careful because there's a lot of things involved in this. A lot of things going on. So what else have we got? It says impatience, possess your souls. Be patient. You're talking to people. Be patient. Don't act erratic. All right. So now we're gonna go to John Babakashah. And in terms of moving, this whole thing about moving, move on. Well, just remember, Say if you move to a certain place, you got to realize this. These people prior to you moving to a certain place or location, they were given a heads up. I want to let they were given a heads up, all right, by whoever. This person's gonna be here at this state and so forth. Act a certain way. Act friendly first, something or act friendly or do this, do that. Then over a certain period of time, start turning up the harassment and like let it be known. Do it so he sees it. So the same people that may say, well, listen, there's different things you need to do. Now, if it's in your capacity, if you're in an environment, you just know, yeah, these people, they're demonic, and you have the means of moving, you do that. But one thing I will say is, no matter where you go, the same thing may happen. You understand? It follows you because this is through law enforcement and police. It's spiritual, so you can't outrun spiritual warfare. So I don't care. You could move to another side of London. The same thing will happen because all these people are doing that are living here. Guess what they're gonna do? They're just gonna contact someone that's in another area and say, yeah, he's here. Just move there now. Remember, some of these people moved in to the area. They moved in when you came in. Just let's get that right. Let's get that correct. Right? For whatever reason. That sounds like trafficking to me, but I'm not gonna get all up into that stuff and all that. Our whole thing is to just teach this word, and that's it. Right? I'm not involving myself in things that are above my pay grade and all that. But I will mention it. Because some brothers, some sisters don't understand this. They go through these things and they don't understand what's really going on. The root of it is spiritual. It says that in Ephesians 6 and 11 and 12, right? We're not wrestling against flesh and blood. We are wrestling against people that are compromised, that have spirits upon them, that are being ruled. And in certain places, there's principalities and you know what I mean? And I do find out this as well. You know, when you're living life and you're not reacting and you're happy, that gets these people very angry. When you're depressed, they love that. When you're depressed, when you're reactionary, you're always depressed, and they love that type of stuff. So sometimes we got to get outside of our own heads. Get out of your heads, man. All right? And yeah, it's police doing this stuff. Facts. With the sirens, with the electrics, the signals, it's them hitting you with signals. I might post a picture of it. It's like it's a radio. You know them old radio, them walkie-talkies. That's what they can hit you with. So all they do is just park up. They park up and they got to make sure there's a cell tower, and they just broadcast that frequency, and that's how you get hit with it. Okay. So let's go back to where we were. This is John 7. The Messiah went through these type of things. We're going to go to John 7 and 25. Hold on just a minute. Then said some of them of Jerusalem, is not this he whom they seek to kill? Who was seeking to kill Yahushua? The Pharisees. But lo, he speaketh boldly, and they say nothing unto him. Do the rulers know indeed that this is very Mashiach? So even the common people knew this is the Messiah. So that shows you not everybody hates you. How about we know this man whence he is, but when Mashiach cometh, no man knoweth whence he is. So this is what the Pharisees were saying. All right? So they were denying the validity of the Messiah. Then cried Yahushua in the temple as he taught, saying, ye both know me. See, they're trying to hit me with them frequencies again. See, we pick up on it from time to time. You know, see, I'm used to this, man. I'm used to this, baby. Anyway, and it says, Baba Kashar, check this out. And cried Yahushua in the temple as he taught, saying, ye both know me, and you know whence I am, and when I am come of myself. But he that sent me is true, whom ye know not. And this Salakia, with the coffin, with my coffin, all that is a lot of it is the EMF that they use. So you might be thinking, why am I coughing at? It's the EMF and the signals they send my way. So I might even sound a bit groggy. I don't usually sound groggy. It's the technology they're using. Yeah, bro, I can get them done for attempted murder because that's basically what it is, with the police. So that's attempted murder, basically. If anything was to happen, that's attempted murder. So bro, do you realize what they're doing? That's what it is. If you're trying to harm someone in any means or any capacity, that's what it's classed as attempted murder. Anyways, let's get back to where we were. But I know him, for I am from him, and he sent me. Then they sought to take him, but no man laid hands on him because his hour was not yet come. This is speaking about the Messiah. Right? And many of the people believed on him. So guess what? Not everybody's against you. Many believed on him and said, Mashiach cometh, will he do more miracles than these which any man have done? So the miracles were clear. People did see that there were certain things that were happening. And the Pharisees heard that the people murmured such things concerning him. And the Pharisees and the chief priests sent officers to take him. Here we go. Pharisees, chief priests. So what does this mean? They had officers in their back pocket. They had officers working for them. I've said this plenty of times. Here it is, you could be in a camp and not really realize there's officers. Now, just because you have an officer that's in the camp, it doesn't really mean that officer's wicked, because the officers, if he's listening to the word, if he's teaching, that's not a wicked thing. But yeah, you have certain officers that are planted and agents in these camps, right? Because it says it here. So like they're still trying to hit me again with the frequencies in the gut. We're gonna shut off soon. And it says, Baba Kashar, where was we? And many believed on him and said, when Mashiach cometh, will he do more miracles than these which this man have done? Right? And the Pharisees heard that the people murmured such things concerning him. Yeah, there's one there, man. You see it? You see a mirror. You know what I'm saying? Let's catch on, man. Yeah, you gotta do it. Yes, you see that? So that was the example. That guy right there, they also use him, right? So some of these people, they are government informants and so forth. Some of them are contractors. Some of them they also place things in your house and all that. So just keep these things in mind, but don't focus on it, because greater is he that is in us. And you see how he started acting, right? Right? Screaming and all that. Yeah, bro. We're dealing with spiritual warfare. You have to take this to the Lord. But let's finish this off quickly because I've got short time. All right, there's a lot of mental patients out here. Let's go to John 7. Baba Kashar. This is John 7. And jump straight to 30. Baba Kashar. When they sought to take him, but no man laid hands on him. And when we jump to 32, the Pharisees heard that the people murmured such things concerning him, and the Pharisees and the chief priests sent officers to take him. It says it. So guess what? Yeah, it was the Pharisees. It was the Pharisees. Listen, pay attention. It was the Pharisees and the chief priest. They were what you call the lawyers of the day, the judges. They hired, right, officers to do that. So remember, there's a hierarchy within this kingdom. So we can't be ignorant. Yeah, it's certain men. You know, some of our problems, what we're going through, is because other men that claim to be in the truth. They sent officers to take him. When said Yahushua to them, yet a little while I'm with you, and you shall seek me. So there you have it. And I want to jump straight to the point where the officers were listening to the word, and they were like, here it is. This is John 7 and 45. Then came the officers to the chief priests and Pharisees, and they said unto them, why have you not brought him? And the officers answered, never man spake like this man. So here it is now. The officers came back to the chief priest, and they said unto them, why haven't you brought him to us? But officers answered, never man spake like this man. So I got news for you. No, not all police officers are evil. Okay? Because they said no man spoke like this man. So they were listening to Yahweh Shai. I've even had certain officers that came up to me and I teach them the word, and they're bloody interested. They're interested. They want to know more. Right? See, it's how you conduct yourself. And the officer answered, never man spake like this man. right? They were captivated by what Yahushua was saying. Then answered them the Pharisees, "Are you also deceived?" So they were angry. They were bitter enemies against the Messiah. They answered them, the Pharisees, "Are you also deceived?" Okay, key thing. So they didn't like it. Have any of the rulers of the Pharisees believed on him? But these people who know if not law are cursed. The answer is yes, you had many Pharisees that believed on him, but they were scared to confess him lest their positions were taken away. Okay. But these people who know if not the law are cursed, Nicodemus saying unto them that he came to Yahushua, night being one of them. There you go. Doth our Lord judge any man before it heareth him and know what he doeth? So guess what? This was very, very political. This was very political in some manners. They were trying to get Yahushua caught up. And he answered and said unto him, Art thou also of Galilee? Search and look, for out of Galilee arise no prophet, and there went every man unto his own house. So now you see the whole dynamic of why certain things were going down. So you can't always look too far. All you got to do is look at the ones, look, who were you involved with? Listen, look at the ones that were around you. Some of your problems, it was people that you were close to or that you were around. Okay? The Lord knows how to deliver out of temptation. Right? And yeah, I had to record that individual because that individual, he does that dumb shit all the time. I've even had him, right, bring people in late night, right, to try get at me. So just some of these people, they just can't be trusted, right? And that, yeah, I am going to record. I'm going to record what I need to record for my own safety, right? And we're going to edify. And I think repentance is very, very important. You have to repent every single day because we get thoughts as well, certain thoughts that are not right. Repent every day. You ask for forgiveness. And try living upright, like to the best of your ability, because these things do help. Especially when you're going through things like this, it makes you want to cleave unto Yahushua even more. Okay, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But a lot of this stems from jealousy. King David went through these type of things. With Saul. Saul was constantly chucking javelins at him, spying him out, sent people around his whole town village to spy him out. Joseph was falsely accused and so forth to sleep with Potiphar's wife and so forth. When he ran out, he was put in prison. Yahushua, the ultimate example, lied upon what spied, then crucified by the chief priest. There's several examples. Paul was stoned. Stephen was stoned. There's the example. So you're going to go through certain things. But the ultimate thing is Yahushua has died for the elect. So we pray that we're covered by his blood. Pray that we're covered by Yahushua's blood. And just, all we can do is just, teach his word, man. And you ain't got nothing to worry about because you're not up to nothing evil. Okay? So is there anything else? That's pretty much it. But I hope I brought out the main scriptures. And yeah, there is a type of psyops. If you're what you call a so-called targeted individual, there is psyops going on and street theater and all that, but you don't feed into it because that's not your reality. Yep, there is going to be certain people that are going to be put in certain locations and they're going to do certain things to get reaction. Just don't feed into it because it's nothing to do with you. Remember, a lot of people got insecurities, nothing to do with you. Okay, and the Lord will. I want to go to Romans. You're not the only one that's going through this. You've seen the videos. Thousands of people throughout the world are going through this type of. You're not the only one. But you have been chosen because you are very special as well. Let me tell you that. Let's go to Romans 8. There is therefore no condemnation to them which are in Yahushua Mashiach, who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. So remember, your so-called gang stalkers, they're walking in the flesh. That's a fact. They're governed by the flesh, and they want you to be governed by the flesh. But we got to walk in the spirit. So there's no condemnation to those that are walking in the spirit of Yahushua. That's what we got to do. Right? Therefore, you're not going to be condemned. Okay, so I'm gonna shut off here. I hope this was edifying, and I hope this gives you more comfort concerning what you're going through and who's basically targeting you, running this thing. I've told you it's coming from police and law enforcement. The law enforcement, they're just doing their job. They're told they're just given privy knowledge on certain things, whether that's false information. And yeah, you can be arrested for what do they call it? What's the name of that when you give perjury? It's called perjury, right? When false information is given, right? So perjury is an intention of act or swearing a false of falsifying an affirmation to tell the truth, whether spoken or written concerning matters material or official proceeding. Like most other crimes in the common law system, to be convicted of perjury, one must have the intention to commit the act and have actually committed the act. Further statements that are facts cannot be considered perjury. All right. Right? Because you got a lot of people saying facts. You just got a lot of people, they just listen, they're just fools. Perjury is the intentional act of yep, so that's a crime. It's basically when you're falsifying documents to fit your own agenda. Right? So law enforcement, they're there because they have a job to do to see what's going on and so forth. Right? The watch, surveillance is to watch you. Difference. Right? There's a huge difference. Right? So I'm gonna shut off here. And until the next time, Shalom.